Welcome to A Friday Reads, where I talk about what I read, what I'm reading, what I hope to get to next, and my neck is reminding me I'm old these past couple days. Oh, it is unhappy. The mobility is not what I'd like it to be. But such is life. I've read a lot. Some of it's because it's like a books that like maybe could have been in the July wrap-up, but they weren't. But I also have finished like one whole book all in August so far. So like I have 3 things I finished and 2 things I'm in the middle of and it's good energy. Even though like I guess not everything's super high rating, but like I guess my most recent read was a good one and I'm liking what I'm reading right now, so like recency bias. So first thing we'll talk about that I finished was The Enchanted Greenhouse. Sarah Beth Durst. I finished this. I don't know if it's a duology. I don't know. It's not really a series. Like, if you read this, it spoils the end of the Spell Shop, but it's not with any of the Spell Shop characters. It's with the person who created the talking plant in the first book. And I want to be a fly on the publishing wall understanding why this was released in summer. It's of course supposed to be a Christmas read, right? I'm not crazy. There's a winter fair, it's snowy. Like when I looked at the cover, I'm like, this of course is coming out in December, right? Or, November. But no, it's a July release, which is why I read it, so I could do it for the Herked reading challenge sort of thing. So yeah, it's very snowy. So if you want snow, it's a very snowy book. I like it more than Spell Shop, but I still don't like it. And I think it's because, so it's like, in my head, it's like a third cozy, a third fantasy, and a third romance. And I don't like cozy things that much, so that wasn't really doing it for me. The fantasy plot was kind of cool, like what we're trying to do here. Like the cozy fantasy plot, that's like 55% of this book, was fine. But I did like the romance, but the romance wasn't enough of this book to be a romance for me. So the pacing was really wonky. Like I feel like it's a 400-page book, and the first 200 pages was not a romance, period, end of story, right? And it just took a really long time to get going. And then like, from pages 200 to 300, it felt like a romance. And then the rest of the book just felt like the end of a cozy fantasy. So I felt very uneven about my reading experience. Like I would say that when pages 200 to like 300 were like 4.5, 5-star material and everything else was 3-star material. It was fine. I really like her adventure fantasy. I do not like cozy fantasy, and I do feel like part of why I wanted it to be a romance was because the way that she writes her main characters in this cozy series reminds me of characters I read in contemporary romance, but I'm not getting the contemporary romance, so then I just have these characters that I don't really like that much. Like, they're not very fleshed out in a way. Like, in some ways, this character, gosh, I don't even remember her name. Oh, that's a thing. I know the male is Yarrow. I do not remember her name. Such is life. She has a lot of things I relate to. So it's not that I don't think she's realistic in some of her quirks. It's just like there's a way that people write quirky female characters for contemporary romance. I don't really know how to describe it. But it's here, but this is not a contemporary romance, so I feel very jarred and just like I can't get my footing. I don't know if any of that makes sense. Maybe by the time I wrap it up, it'll make sense. Or maybe I'll just be like, whatever, it's a thing I read. Like I did read like half of it, 2/3 of it in a day. Like I thought I wasn't going to because I was kind of bored. But then I did read like 60% of it in a day. But again, that's because the 100 pages I loved were in that section. So I don't know. It's just uneven experience. Another one I finished was Red Scholar's Wake by Elliot de Bodard. So this is also another issue with like the romance part of it. I love the world. I think the politics was cool and it's space pirates. I even kind of like the writing style a bit. Like I think that was like, that style of it is pretty cool. But there is a style that she does that doesn't work for me. And that is how she introduces a relationship. I don't want to say develop, because I think the development makes sense, but how we jump into it doesn't. And I'm love an insta-love situation. I'm not anti-insta-love, but I have to be there when the insta-love happened, and I don't think I was there. Like, it happened off page. So we go from, they kind of meet, it's tense. We're going into a marriage of convenience for reasons that I still don't understand, which is whatever. And then sometime off page, because it's kind of fragmented, like each chapter doesn't have a transition to the next chapter. Like, it is in chronological order, it's linear, but like time kind of goes by at like periods that I don't always notice. Like I feel like in other books I don't notice that, I don't know why I'm over here, but in this book I always wonder, why am I over here? Like the transitions aren't my favorite. And I just don't remember when they became so ride or die for each other. I don't think that happened on page. The repercussions of that happens on page, but I don't think it happened on page. And I remember this happening to me with the novella I read, Fireheart Daughter, is that the name of it? And so I just think that how she introduces relationships doesn't really work for me. That said, I would read more in this series, and I'm going to, because like the world is cool. Like I love a mind ship. That's awesome. I was really into that. So yeah, it was a cozy-ish time. I really liked it except for the relationship, but unfortunately the relationship's like a pretty big deal in the book, so it's like, it's not even like I don't like them together. I just felt like I missed something, and I couldn't quite ever shake that off. And also, the mind ship was kind of being dumb about stuff because of the relationship, which is not like, unrelatable. It's just, it was like, add that onto the list of things that was kind of bothering me. So those were fine reads. Nothing bad, nothing fantastic. I then read You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, because I went on a trip. And I was like, I would like something that's not too difficult to read on my trip. And so this is not too long. I mean, it looks longer than it is, but it's a 278-page book. I had it on my Kindle. I love Akwaeke Emezi. And okay, right off the bat, I picked this up. And like, I know this is messy. Like, I picked this up because I wanted it to be messy. Actually, I didn't buy this. My friend Evie sent it to me. And so I'm like, yeah, let's go into it. And instantly, like, Akwaeke Emezi reads in all sorts of genres. Literary fiction, middle grade, young adult. I think they have a romantasy coming out this fall, which I am very excited about. And so this is a contemporary romance that is also messy. And right away, though, I can, like, they are very good at their craft. And if I said she at any point, I apologize. Their pronouns are they, them. And this character instantly felt so vibrant to me. And I was just talking earlier in this video about contemporary romance characters. And this feels like just a very fleshed out individual. And it didn't feel like other things I'd read, which is kind of refreshing just because I've been having character problems in my last two reads for different reasons. And so I was reading this and it's very emotional. And what I love about this is that it's truly just about romance and recovery from grief. There is a plot around it. The plot is she's trying to find herself after losing the love of her life 5 years ago. And at the same time gets to further her career as an artist. And in the process ends up falling for the father of the guy she's in a situationship with. Like, they're not officially together. And it's so raw at times. And I like raw emotional things. And I really wasn't prepared. First of all, although it is a woman and a man falling in love, it is one of the most bisexual things I've read in a while. Okay, both love interests are very bisexual. And she has a great friend that she leans on. And there's just a lot of great human interactions in this book that I eat up. That's like who I am as a person. But the male lead, like the father of the situationship person, he is so... His type of masculinity I haven't read very often. I feel like in this day and age, it's very common to have the guy who is bigger and like he is assertive and takes control and stuff like that. And like, I guess there's some of that in here. But the things I remember is how vulnerable and soft and quiet and caring he is. Like, I don't know. He's just such a sweet individual. He's also a cook. He's a very good cook. There's a lot of food in this book, which I really appreciated. So yeah, I really like this. I think it's missing the 5-starness, but I really liked this. I think it's a fantastic contemporary romance, because it is a contemporary romance. Like, even though it's heavy, it is a contemporary romance. And like, it's not completely closed door, but it's not as open door as I thought it would be, because the opening scene is very woo. But also, that was another thing. Like, when she writes her intimate scenes, there is a lot of emotion in it. Like, it's not just about the lust of it, although that is a component. We're not going to pretend lust is not a part of what's happening here. But I don't know, it's just how she does it is both so genre, like it's so romance, but it's also their spin on it. So yeah, it's just so good, so good. And now, what am I currently reading? Well, let's first talk about The Devils, because that's just the book that's next to me. So I'm reading The Devils. Yeah, it's the thing I'm doing. I'm doing the audiobook, and shocking, literally no one, I'm having a great time because the internet's having a bad time with it. I really don't mean to be contrarian. That's really not who I am. Now, granted, I'm only probably, I don't know, how far into this am I? Let's find out. I really love the titles of these chapters. Oh, this is such a cool, I haven't like looked at the physical because I'm listening to the audiobook. That's fun. I think I'm 100 pages in. That's how I feel. Yeah, I think I'm 100 pages in. Oh yeah, I'm still in part 1. So yeah, I'm like this far in. Oh, and I am loving the vibes. Now, it could be Perfect Storm. It could be. I'm currently watching Peacemaker because season 2 is going to come out soon, and I know it takes place right after Superman. And yeah, I have never watched the Suicide Squad that came before Peacemakers, but I have watched the first Suicide Squad with, why am I blanking on his name? Will Smith. Of all the names to blank on, Will Smith instead of Idris Elba, because I think they play like the same character. I don't know. The Suicide Squad saga is weird. So this is very Suicide Squad coded because we have the anti-heroes, vigilante type people in this world having to do things for the good guys. And it's also very Crusade coded. And I just watched Kingdom of Heaven, the Ridley Scott's director's cut version. So aesthetically speaking, I am very primed for this. I kind of like that it's set in an alternate version of our world because I don't have to learn new proper nouns. I can just like dive right in. And I just find it funny. Like, I think what's interesting, and maybe I just haven't gotten to those jokes yet, but like the things I'm finding funny are not the things that people think are not funny. Like, I think I've heard a lot about poop jokes. And poop has occurred, but I didn't think that section was funny. I thought that section was just like, yeah, that's what you have to use. Like, the things I find funny is just, like, the tone. Like, I just think the tone's funny. I don't know. I don't think it's delivering on the fart and poop jokes in the way that I thought it would, personally. But maybe I just haven't gotten there yet, or maybe I'm just more immature than I thought I was. There's always that, and that's okay. The main thing is that I'm having a good time, and it's a great, like, when I'm doing chores book. And it's very action-packed. It has a plot? Joe Abercrombie's given me a plot? Now, I guess full disclosure, for any of you who are new here, I have read the First Law trilogy, just the trilogy, twice. I read it once in 2015, and I read it once in 2020. And I do plan to one day continue. I just haven't. I keep getting stuck at Best Served Cold. So I thought I'd just pick this up, you know? Because I have nothing wrong with what he does. My favorite is The Blade itself, because I think that's hysterical. And this is reminding me of that, where I just have ludicrous characters and ludicrous situations, and I'm just kind of going along for the ride. So yeah, might just be Perfect Storm. I don't know. We'll see if it keeps going. I'm like 20-some% of the way in, you know? It could change. And then the other one I'm reading, and I'm so glad it's going well, is I'm a third of the way through Tio's Darumi. I'm so excited. I'm going to get a physical copy, hopefully the day you're seeing this. Maybe earlier if I get a call, because I called my local indie to get a copy. Because I didn't want to wait for it to get mailed to me and get all beat up. Let a bookstore get it for me. And so this has been great. I don't even know if anything's really happened. Like, things have happened. But I just love these characters so much. And I'm very captivated by it when I read it. I really don't know how to explain it other than that. It does feel like I've picked up where the first book left off, which is good because the first book made sense. It felt like a season finale, and now I'm in season 2. That's how I feel, and it's the same quality of character work. It's just a great ensemble cast. I love an ensemble cast a la Shrinking, Ted Lasso, The Bear. I love all 3 of those shows because the focus is on the ensemble, which doesn't mean that individual characters don't shine, but it means that it's like there's not like a main character, which like that's kind of, yeah, Ocean and Tio are the main characters, but like really they're not. And it did the coolest thing. So at the start of this book, I didn't realize this was what it was when I was reading it. There's like a log, and I just started reading it. And it's kind of both a catching you up on what happened in the first book and also a dramatis personae all wrapped up in one. And it was perfect. It reminded me who everyone was and what briefly happened in the last book. And it was done in a very fun style through the voice of one of our characters. And then I was ready. I dived right in. And so, yeah, it's very cinematic for me. So, yeah, I'm enjoying that. That's my physical read this week that I've been doing immersion style. And the reason I really would love to have had the official ebook or the hardback sooner is I have an e-arc, but this is like one of the first times where an e-arc has obviously been edited a fair bit before the final release, because there's just a lot of slight changes while I'm doing the immersion read, and I'm not usually, that doesn't normally happen to me. I don't know if that's just because I haven't gotten stuff from this publisher before. I've never gotten an arc from Zando and stuff like that. It's not like a big deal, but it's just like the smidge amount of distracting that I don't quite want. But I'm also liking it too much to like wait. So such is life. And so yeah, I already talked about I'm watching Peacemakers. Someone did ask last week, and I don't know if I've responded to comments yet because I've been trying to prep for class and read, and my neck's been hurting, and so I'm not like great at things right now. But I am starting a new knitting project because when we were in Chelsea, Michigan last weekend, I did go to Serendipity, which is the bookstore, and I went to a bookstore in Ann Arbor, and I forgot to show you guys the books. They're all downstairs. I guess next week I'll show you guys some books that I got. I'm not going down to get them right now. But also in Chelsea, Michigan, which is a very cute town, and where Jiffy is, if you're not in the United States, Jiffy is what we use to make cornbread. Like if you want like the box mix. Didn't know that was the factory in Chelsea, Michigan. And there is a yarn store. I think it's like Artisan Yarns. I don't remember what it's called. The lady was so helpful. My friend's been wanting a sweater for a while, and we aren't always in the same place because he lives in Chicago. So I'm like, okay, pick your pattern, and we're going to pick your yarn. And at least, even if you don't find yarn you like, we'll get a sense of what you do like, so I can work with that. You know, I can get a sense of what color you like, what texture you want to feel. And he picked this glorious wool alpaca mix. So good. So buttery. It's just like, my last project was with acrylic, so this is just so nice. If you don't work with yarn, this doesn't make sense, but there's just like a way that friction changes sometimes between natural fibers and plastic fibers. Okay, but that's it. Those are my nebulous updates. If you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here, leave a devil for the devils, and you can let me know what you're reading, doing, watching. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.